Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here for me in front of all of you. I'm Pavitra Javardhana, final year student in International Relations Special Degree Program in University of Colombo. Professor N Melegoda entrusted me with the task of presenting her paper today in front of you. Professor Melegoda is currently spending her sabbatical at the University of Hiroshima as a research scholar in the Institute of Peace Science. Professor Melegoda is also a resource person for the training of the UN volunteers in Hiroshima Peace Builders Program, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Japan, and Hiroshima University. Through Professor Melegoda's recommendation, I was able to experience the 24th Ship for World Youth this year, which is organized by the Japanese cabinet. So I visited to Japan early in this year. So with that limited experience, I shall do my best to do justice her presentation today. How does one define peace? In international relations, war and peace are key concepts. The simplistic definition of peace is absence of war. The term peacekeeping emerged with the birth of United Nations Organization. Peace building came later. Professor Melegoda has selected the award-winning author of At War's End, Roland Parris' definition of peace building. The term social engineering was first used by Bill Clinton, used extensively in the context of conflict resolution. The earliest definition of peace building is also the most well-known, is by the Secretary General of the United Nations Organization at the time, Boutros Ghali, which he further clarified in an agenda for development in 1994, in supplement to an agenda for peace in 1995, and in agenda for democratization in 1996. The preamble to the United Nations Charter states, the aim of the world body to unite our strength to maintain peace and security. From the inception, United Nations undertook the work of maintaining peace by its peacekeeping work, and the General Assembly passed the Uniting for Peace resolution in 1950. The first United Nations peacekeeping force was sent to Egypt during the Suez Crisis in 1956. Peacekeeping continued since then until now, but since after the Cold War, United Nations moved into peace building with Namibia in 1989. In 2006, United Nations Peacekeeping Commission and Peace Building Support Office established. Apart from the United Nations, the other world and regional bodies such as World Bank, European Union, OECD are committed for peace building. They all follow one model, that the Western liberal peace building model, with key features of establishing democracy, free market enterprise as main components. There are other terms used in peace building exercise as well, such as nation building, which is used by Japan, but George Bush declared United States will not get involved in nation building. United States used the term stabilization or state building. In international relations, of course, they have specific meanings, but peace academics sometimes argue that state building and peace building are both the same. United Nations started peace diplomacy and also the Nordic countries since World War II. Well, this is a picture of Hiroshima atomic bomb site, A-bomb site, as they call in Japan. 3,000 workers died on spot in this building. It is preserved to remember how deadly a war can be. Professor Melegoda said she took this picture early in May this year when they had the annual Hiroshima Flower Festival. Hiroshima Peace Science Institute is just across the Peace Memorial Park. There are several festivals associated with Peace Memorial Park in Hiroshima, Japan. Flower Festival in May, very somber Peace Memorial on August 6th every year are the two main events that bring people from all over the world to Hiroshima. As members of armed forces, you know better than me about the destruction of World War II, particularly in Japan. 140,000 deaths is the figure for Hiroshima alone. Public in Japan vowed never to be in a war again. Pain and the cost is still very much in their minds. The above quotation is from Professor Hideki Shinoda, peace building expert at the University of Hiroshima, from his papers titled Post-War Reconstruction of Hiroshima as a Case of Peace Building in 2008. Hiroshima peace building is one such example from Japan. There are others from Nagasaki, the second atomic bomb city, and of course other cities which lost nearly as many people from other bombings. Peace culture is such, Japanese people do not raise their voices for anything. No honkings of cars, even if the car in front is really slow moving, the rest just follows. Extremely polite, even when negative replies are given. Really peaceful in everyday life. When peace building began in the city of Hiroshima, peace building in the Japan too had begun. First with the new constitution. Japanese previous constitution was the Meiji Constitution, which brought Japan into a modern era to the interactions with the world. Since then, post-World War II Constitution. The post-World War II Constitution of Japan has a unique feature, and that is the peace article. First, Japan concentrated on rebuilding country rather than the foreign policy. Once it achieved its economic miracle, it turned its attention to the Southeast Asia and its Asian neighbors and wanted to have a special foreign policy. This materialized with Fukuda Doctrine of Peace Diplomacy in 1977, announced by PM Takayo Fukuda in Manila, further enhanced by PM Koizumi and Fukuda's son in their foreign policy statements resulted in doctrines. You can further read on these doctrines and peace diplomacy to peace building diplomacy in MOFA officials' records available online. So for this year, Sri Lanka and Japan has enjoyed 60 years of very cordial diplomatic relations. Japan has always channeled its development assistance to Sri Lanka through the government of Sri Lanka. It has always worked with the government of Sri Lanka in the peace building exercises in Sri Lanka. Once, one of the NGOs in Japan, Association of Medical Doctors for Asia, pulled out of Sri Lanka after the tsunami work, but they were involved establishing communication links between all communities in tsunami-affected areas. Peace building work of the government of Japan is institutionalized within International Peace Cooperation Division of the Foreign Policy Bureau of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Japan. International Peace Building Cooperation Headquarters of the Cabinet Office, Office of Peace Building of JICA, and Overseas Development Assistance Charter of Japan. Hybrid peace is the alternative for importing a standard model applied everywhere in the world, which has miserably failed in many countries, including in Afghanistan. It is time to look at a hybrid model, since we already have well-established components of the liberal model, such as democracy, regular parliamentary elections, we should consider the local context of at least 40% while applying liberal model for 60% or any other suitable percentage. Hybrid peace governance is the way forward for positive peace in Sri Lanka, according to Professor N Melegoda. On behalf of my mentor, Professor N Melegoda, I wish to thank all of you for your kind attention. If you have any question or research interest in this particular area, please don't hesitate to do email to Professor Melegoda. Her email address is available in the Department of International Relations website of the University of Colombo and Peace Science Institute of University of Hiroshima. Thank you.